Hi, everybody. My name is Gijsbert Stoet, and I'm a professor of psychology. I work in the field of cognitive psychology, individual differences, and intelligence. And the claim that I'm going to make today is that AI superintelligence is already here. It's not something that will soon come or in the next 5 years come, as some people say. It's already here. And it's a relatively short video because it's a straightforward claim to make. I will also explain in this video why so many people think that superintelligence is something that we will reach in the future, but that we don't have it yet. I will explain you why. So if you find it interesting, watch this video. Also, please like and subscribe this video if you find it useful. And if you have a different opinion than me, please leave a comment below the video. So if we talk about the types of intelligence that psychologists talk about, typically we think at least about two types of intelligence. On the one hand, you have crystallized intelligence. That is basically what you know, the facts that you know, that Paris is the capital of France, that you need flour to make bread, and all sorts of things. And you acquire more facts over the course of your lifetime. So you get more, in that sense, your crystallized intelligence grows. And then on the other hand, there is something called fluid intelligence, which is your capacity to reason, to solve novel problems. And that's different. And that's often in the context of not having access to prior knowledge. It's something that you do on the spot. Now, if you look at crystallized intelligence, AI clearly has won this race. Anyone who has tried out these models knows that you can talk with these chatbots, as people call them, about any topic. Ask it about physics theories, music, uh, how to look after your dog, how to bake a bread. It knows everything, and not only in English, also in Greek or in Spanish or in Italian. It's amazing. In that sense, these systems have far more knowledge and can access and use and talk about that knowledge. So there, I think it's almost strange if you would argue that in terms of crystallized intelligence, these systems don't have superintelligence. They clearly have. When it comes to fluid intelligence, well, some people will say, well, they can reason, but it's very limited. Now, I will give you an example of an of one way of measuring it. So uh, this is actually an example of what's known as a Raven's matrix. Um, in intelligence, so there are intelligence tests that rely on this, where people have to solve these types of problems. Let me quickly explain this. So here you see at the top, you see basically 3 rows and 3 columns, and there's one missing item. And from the bottom 8 ones, you need to choose which one fits there. Now, I'm not going to say which one it is, but most people don't know the answer immediately, and it's not that easy to solve. I mean, you need to think a little bit about it, and there are people who cannot solve this. Now, what about these AI systems? Can they do it? Well, you can try it, of course. I tried it. ChatGPT 5 in its thinking mode can solve it. ChatGPT o3, model o3, if you know that that's an older model, could solve it. And this is not something that every human being can solve. So super intelligent, I would say. They can reason about lots of things. Yes, these systems make probably mistakes in problems that would not be so easy for people either, but that is not I think that would not be a fair comparison. If these systems can solve these things that for many people are difficult, if it can solve it just and doesn't do it correctly, then you have reached that level of super intelligence there too. Now, if you try this takes a couple of minutes for a model like ChatGPT, and that is actually ChatGPT, for example, and other models. They can read articles much faster than they can solve a problem like this, but they can do it. So why is it then that people say, well, these models don't have super intelligence? And I think here's the catch. People behave and act differently than these models. These models, they respond to prompts in a very intelligent way. But we have ambitions, we set goals, we have values, and that makes it looks as if we are different. We are, but in terms of psychology, if you think, well, how do psychologists explain those things? Well, that's not part of intelligence research. That comes really to in the area of motivation. But here we are talking about intelligence. So people who say these models haven't reached superintelligence yet or AGI, they make a category mistake. So that's a bold claim, but I think it didn't take much effort to prove that it is a correct conclusion. Now, you might be shocked about this. You might be surprised. What do you think? If you do not believe me, if you have a good argument against my claim, leave a comment below the video. I'm really curious to see what you think. Let's start a discussion here. Let's make this a debate. I think this question is really important because if superintelligence is already here, we need to start to think differently. Now, it might be that people disagree, but if they disagree, they need to come with good arguments, and I'd like to see those arguments. So leave them below the video so that we can have a discussion. Thanks for watching. If you like this, I will make some more videos about this topic where psychology and AI meet. And please like and subscribe. Bye.